When I was first diagnosed with breast cancer, I was shocked. My family was shocked, and it was really stressful. And I found that breast cancer supportive care was there, and it filled in the gaps for what was missing or what I was lacking in the medical system.
I think what helped me most was being able to get counseling there while I was going through the breast cancer treatment, because I had gone through losing my mom, and I had never really dealt with that on a level that I needed to, and I was able to do that there.
I absolutely know I would not have handled it without their professionalism. Some of the doctors that we dealt with have had cancer themselves and could very much relate to what we were going through. And I didn't have the support of a spouse, so it was even a little bit harder, I think, but my kids pulled through for me, and as did the supportive care group.
And I found breast cancer supportive care completely by accident. I walked into the door. I was actually at a doctor's office doing something completely different, and I saw the sign. I walked into the door, and it was just like I breathed air. And the first time I saw Dr. Taylor, she gave me a hug. And at that moment, it was just like I knew how to breathe underwater.
I think being told when I was discharged by the oncologist, more or less to get on with your life, pick up the pieces, and you're not the same person that you were before diagnosis, before treatment. And I think it's reaching new beginnings, working through feelings with the physician and the health professionals at the foundation that just made it a full recovery.
Defining moment actually for me, being part of the group, was when one of our group members celebrated her 50th birthday, and not realizing that I was having a difficult time kind of looking forward. That just sort of, for me, said, oh, you know, maybe I will live to 50.
Cancer doesn't have to be a death sentence, and that's a huge thing, because as soon as you're diagnosed and going through treatments, you just think, okay, am I going to get through this? You know, you don't feel like you're getting through this because you're getting worse and worse and worse. But they just normalized everything. They were able to, through the recovery group and through their health professionals, they basically give you the tools. They give you the tools to rebuild your life so that you can function with your family and amongst your friends and society, and in some ways life is even better than now than maybe it was before, because you learn to appreciate the little things, and you learn to appreciate that, you know, you live for now and you hope for tomorrow.
My name's Nancy Barnes, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago.
My name's Lori Benwell, and I was diagnosed 2.5 years ago.
My name is Joan Warren, and I was diagnosed in June of 2005.
My name is Sarah Cote, and I was diagnosed just shy of 2 years ago.
My name is Lynn Scott, and it's been 4 years since I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
My name is Erin Schneider, and I was diagnosed 3 years ago.
Maria Bertucci, and I was diagnosed on February 8th, 2007.
The thing that I want to talk about is, and it's something that women live in silence about, and so once I was, you know, the doctors took care of me at the cancer clinic. They did a wonderful job, but you feel like when you're going through treatment and the surgery, you lose your femininity and you lose your intimacy. And through their guidance and counseling, I was able to become a full woman again, or a whole woman.
I think the first time that one of the doctors there gave me a hug, it reminded me that they really were there looking out for what was best for me, and that they wanted to support me through all the struggles that were involved with breast cancer.
I was very fortunate to learn about breast cancer supportive care very early on in my cancer diagnosis. and very fortunate to have the assistance of one of the doctors at Breast Cancer Supportive Care. She was absolutely phenomenal. It was almost as if it was her herself who had been told she had cancer. She was there for me whenever I needed to talk, whether a telephone conversation or if I needed to make an appointment and come in and see her.
In my career, I have worked with people before breast cancer and after. And some people have said, you know, you were one person before you had breast cancer, but now you are a different person, you know, and you, for some reason, you live with cancer, with breast cancer, but you are so confident and, you know, you talk about it and you live, you know, your life as a survivor, and, you know, we see joy in your life, and we see that, you know, you're just extremely confident about life. And I think every time that somebody gives me a compliment like this, I just say thank you to Breast Cancer Supportive Care.
There's so many defining moments that it's hard to pick out just one. Whether it was the connection with other women who had been in the same boat, whether it was understanding that you're still a human being and that you still have a life in front of you, or whether it's being able to look forward in your life and know that there's still a direction ahead of you.
Well, it's their holistic approach, I would say, for me. I mean, I had a surgeon, I had a chemo doctor, I had a radiation specialist, and they all specialized in their specialty. If you wanted to ask somebody something else, you couldn't. You had no access to anyone, and I was always screened out because they only talked to you if it was something very, very vital to what they needed to be talking to you about. So with Breast Cancer Supportive Care, I could ask whatever, whenever, and whatever stage I was at. I could ask questions about, you know, mastectomy and reconstruction, even though I wasn't necessarily in that stage or even needing to think about that at that point.
When I was diagnosed, my husband had died 4 years previous, and my children were pretty terrified by my diagnosis. And Dr. Taylor offered to meet with my kids and answer any questions that they had and explain what the treatment was going to be, what the process was going to be, and basically answer any concerns they had in a really empathetic way.
Breast Cancer Supportive Care equipped me to be a survivor who could live with joy and know what I needed to do to live my life, not being all about cancer, but just being about living.
My name is Linda Day, and I was diagnosed November 2002.
My name is Natalie Beret, and I was diagnosed in March of 2007.
My name is Susan Leach, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer 3.5 years ago.
My name is Marie Fontaine, and I was diagnosed in 2003, 6 years ago now.
My name is Janet Wanup, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer 18 months ago in February 2008.
My name is Lorraine Hodgkinson, and I was diagnosed in December of 2006, so that's about 2.5 years ago.
Judy Walton, and 3 years this week.
My name is Judy Westman, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in September of 2005.